Omoyele Sowore. The name alone evokes a sense of defiance, a relentless pursuit of justice in Nigeria, a human rights activist, a journalist, a former presidential candidate. Sowore is a man who has long been a thorn in the side of the Nigerian government. His voice, amplified through his news platform, Sahara Reporters, has consistently challenged corruption and abuse of power. Now, once again, he finds himself entangled in the web of the Nigerian legal system, facing charges that have sparked outrage and concern, both within the country and internationally. Sowore's latest ordeal began in the waning days of 2024. His arrest, on charges ranging from cyberbullying to endangering police officers, came after a series of social media posts in which he heavily criticized the Inspector General of Police. The arrest itself was not unexpected. Sowore, throughout his years of activism, has faced numerous arrests and detentions. But these fresh charges, seemingly stemming from his online criticism of a high-ranking official, have raised serious questions about the state of freedom of expression in Nigeria. The timing of the arrest is also noteworthy, coming shortly after Sowore posted a video exposing alleged police extortion. This has led many to believe that the charges are politically motivated, a way to silence a vocal critic of the government. Sowore, however, remains undeterred. He has pleaded not guilty to all charges, his spirit unbroken despite the familiar walls of detention closing in once more. The case has become a lightning rod, igniting debates about the boundaries of free speech, the use of the legal system to stifle dissent, and the ongoing struggle for true democracy in Africa's most populous nation. At the heart of the case against Sowore are his words. The Nigerian government has accused him of cyberbullying and endangering police officers through his social media posts. These posts, published on December 13, 2024, were particularly scathing in their criticism of the Inspector General of Police, whom Sowore labelled an illegal IG due to his continued service past the mandatory retirement age. Sowore's online pronouncements are not known for their subtlety. He is a man who speaks truth to power, often in blunt, uncompromising language. His December 13th posts were no different. He accused the Inspector General of overseeing a police force riddled with corruption and incompetence. He called for an end to police brutality and extortion. He demanded accountability for the countless Nigerians who have suffered at the hands of the very people sworn to protect them. These are not accusations to be taken lightly. They strike at the core of law and order in Nigeria, a country grappling with widespread insecurity and a deep-seated mistrust of its security forces. But are they criminal? The government argues that Sowore's words went beyond mere criticism, that they incited violence and posed a threat to public safety. His supporters, however, see it differently. They view the charges as a blatant attempt to muzzle a dissenting voice, to punish Sowore for daring to speak truth to power. The case has ignited a debate about the limits of free speech in the digital age. Should words posted online be held to the same standard as those spoken in a public forum? Can criticism, however harsh, be construed as a criminal act? These are questions that the Nigerian courts and indeed societies around the world are grappling with as the lines between online and offline worlds continue to blur. Despite the gravity of the charges against him, Sowore was granted bail on January 30, 2025. This, however, was no cause for celebration. The conditions attached to his bail were so stringent, so unreasonable, that they were widely condemned as a mockery of justice. The court ordered Sowore to deposit his passport, effectively confining him to Nigeria and preventing him from travelling abroad for work or personal reasons. This condition alone was seen as excessive, a disproportionate response to the alleged crimes. But the court went further, demanding that Sowore provide two sureties, one of whom must be a civil servant not below the rank of a director. These conditions, particularly the requirement of a high-ranking civil servant as surety, were immediately denounced by Sowore's lawyer, the renowned human rights advocate Femi Falana. Falana argued that the conditions were not only illegal, but also designed to make it impossible for Sowore to meet them, effectively ensuring his continued detention. He pointed to a 2020 precedent, the case of Dasuki vs. Director General SSS, which ruled that demanding public servants as sureties was unlawful. Sowore himself has refused to meet these conditions, choosing instead to remain in detention as a matter of principle. He sees the bail conditions as an affront to justice, a continuation of the government's attempts to silence him. His defiance has further fueled public outrage, turning the case into a flashpoint for broader concerns about judicial independence and the rule of law in Nigeria. The legal battle being waged by Omoyele Sowore is not just about one man and his right to express his views. It is a test case for the very principles of freedom of speech and the role of the press in holding power to account in Nigeria. The outcome of this case will have far-reaching consequences, setting a precedent for how far the government can go in silencing dissent and curtailing the fundamental rights of its citizens. The chilling effect of Sowore's arrest and the subsequent legal proceedings is undeniable. Journalists, activists, and ordinary citizens who dare to criticize the government are now watching this case with bated breath. They are left to wonder if someone as prominent and well-connected as Sowore can be targeted for his online pronouncements. What hope is there for the average Nigerian? The international community is also watching closely. Human rights organizations and press freedom groups have condemned Sowore's arrest and called for his immediate release. They have expressed concern about the shrinking space for civic engagement in Nigeria and the government's increasing intolerance of criticism. The case of Omoyele Sowore is a stark reminder that the fight for democracy and human rights is an ongoing struggle, one that requires constant vigilance and unwavering commitment. It is a reminder that the freedoms we cherish, the right to speak truth to power without fear of reprisal, are fragile and must be fiercely defended.